My date asked me, can I play The Witch Doctor by Alvin and the Chipmunks? Sure, I said, even though we were sitting in a nice Italian restaurant and other people were trying to eat their pasta in peace. He pulled out his phone immediately like he'd been waiting for permission, and his fingers moved too fast like he'd already had it queued up. The high-pitched voices of cartoon chipmunks singing about telling a witch doctor about their love life filled the restaurant at a volume that made the couple next to us look over with annoyed faces. He grabbed my hand across the table, but his grip felt performative, like he was acting in a play I didn't know I was in. This song reminds me of better times. He said it loud enough that people 3 tables away could probably hear him, and his eyes weren't even looking at me when he said it. That's an interesting choice for dinner music. I tried to laugh because what else do you do when your Tinder date plays children's music in public? He finally looked at me, but only for a second, before his attention went back to looking around the restaurant like he was looking for someone. We'd only been here 20 minutes, and he'd already checked the door 6 times. He'd also insisted on this specific booth, even though the hostess tried to seat us somewhere quieter. His whole body was angled toward the bar area, where a group of women were having what looked like a birthday party based on the balloons tied to their chairs. Should we get appetizers? I picked up the menu trying to make this feel like a normal date, but he wasn't listening. The song ended, and he immediately played it again. The waiter who'd been heading our way turned around and went to another table instead. One of the women at the bar, a brunette in a red dress, had stopped laughing with her friends. She was staring at our table, and her face had gone from happy birthday girl to something else entirely. Her friend tried to hand her a shot, but she pushed it away and kept staring. Actually, let's get dessert. They have amazing tiramisu here. He said this even though we hadn't ordered our actual dinner yet, and his voice had gotten even louder. The woman in red stood up from her bar stool, and her friends tried to pull her back down, but she shook them off. He squeezed my hand tighter and leaned across the table like he was about to kiss me, but his eyes were watching her in his peripheral vision. Do you know her? I pulled my hand away because something was obviously happening here that had nothing to do with me. He didn't answer, but his jaw tightened, and he turned the volume up even higher on that stupid song. The woman was walking toward us now, and her friends were following behind her, looking worried. Other tables were watching the drama unfold because everyone loves dinner and a show. The waiter finally came over, but not to take our order. Sir, I'm going to need you to turn that down. We've had complaints. Just one more time, please. It's important. He wasn't talking to the waiter, though. He was talking to the woman who'd reached our table and was standing there with tears running down her face, smearing her makeup. Our song? Really? On my birthday? Her voice cracked, and suddenly everything made sense in the worst possible way. I wasn't on a date. I was a prop in his desperate attempt to make his ex-girlfriend jealous. April, wait. He stood up like he was going to follow her, but she was already walking back to her friends who surrounded her like a protective wall. The Chipmunks kept singing about their friend the witch doctor, and everyone in the restaurant was staring at us. You knew she'd be here? It wasn't a question because of course he did. Her sister always throws her birthday party here. Same booth every year. And that song. We had our first kiss to it 3 years ago at her nephew's talent show. Stupid, I know, but it became our thing. He sat back down and finally turned off the music, but the damage was done.